I've had the honor of speaking with some really interesting people this year, and every time I rewatch those videos, I feel like I learned something new. So I figured, why don't I pull together the top 3 tips from experts on angel investing for you? My name is Martina, and I'm on a mission to increase representation of early stage investors by sharing what I learn and by interviewing investors who share their advice and founders who share their journey. Tip number 1 comes from Sonia Nagar of the Pritzker Group, who encourages you to make 10 bets.
The biggest piece of advice I give people is that they need to take 10 shots on goal. I think angel investing is super high risk and you learn by doing it, and your deal flow is going to improve as you do more deals and you become known for being an investor. But you can't just make 1 or 2 bets. You've got to make at least 10. So I say start with small checks, take whatever it is that you want to allocate to angel investing over a 3-year period and divide it by 10 so that you're writing whatever that number is divided by 10 into companies so that you have enough shots on goal to find a winner. Because even for venture funds, we think about constructing a portfolio knowing that venture investing is very risky, and so you want to have enough bets that you can give yourself a shot at finding a winner.
Tip number 2 comes from Batt, who wants you to define your own version of good.
One of the hardest parts of getting started is you don't necessarily know what good looks like in a pitch until you have a number of reps to draw from. So, the best thing you can do to get started is just put yourself in the places where people are pitching so that you can start to calibrate your own, build your own barometer for what excites you and what types of pitches you want to get involved with.
And finally, tip number 3, I have talked about previously in terms of the mindset that you need when you want to start investing in this video right here. But I think John Keck frames it differently and much better really, and he wants you to think about it as a donation.
I think I would say just think of it as a donation. I think to tie into the friend aspect, there were multiple people on our cap table who just really believed in us, angels, and put in money, and we were super scared when we decided to sell the company that they're not getting a big return. Are they going to be mad at us? Literally 0 angels that we have were mad. They were all like, oh great, okay, I'm super happy that you guys came to something that you were really excited about, and now have said, okay, what's the next thing? What are you going to start next that we can invest in again? And I think if you have that mentality that, oh, I'm using this to make a bunch of money, then I think you, one, will be just a worse angel investor. People won't want you on the cap table if all you're worried about is, give me your financial forecast so I can make sure that you're running your business correctly. And if you instead think of it as hey, I'm going to help you as much as possible. And part of that help is just me giving you this money. And in the future, at some point, you maybe give me some back. But if not, I was able to help you in some way. I just look at it more that way. And I think if you think about it that way in terms of capital allocation, it's good too, because, unless you're super, super independently wealthy, you probably shouldn't spend, a vast majority of your money angel investing. You should be investing majority of your money into equities or real estate, real assets and things that aren't insanely risky like this. And so if you think about it as a donation budget, I think it's just a nicer way to frame it and set your expectations up correctly.
And for those of you that prefer to do some independent reading or listening to podcasts, the number 1 book that was recommended to me several times is
Venture Deals by Brad Bell. Is a very good read for understanding the investing side of things.
And here's some podcasts for you to listen to.
I actually love the 20-Minute VC podcast by Harry Stemmings. It's high information per minute, and it's pretty delightful. I also love the Acquired podcast. I think they do a wonderful job blending history with present tense, and gives a lot of context and helps paint a picture of the industry sort of across its evolution, which I really love.
So there you have it. 3 tips from experts and 3 resources on how to get started to help you get off the ground ASAP. Let me know in the comments if there are other things that you're curious about. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with a friend.